Heyo! Here we are back on Mars. Last time we left off, we got our base set up. We got our grow light going. We've got some plants. We've got some water. We've got a little food. We've got a battery. We put down an air conditioner. We haven't got that set up yet. What we need to focus on, I think, is a bit more power. This is our station battery here. Put on our suit. Let's have a look outside. Out here we have all of our printers. We've got our furnace going. There's our lander. Actually, that's our lander. That's our shuttle pod, I guess you could call it. And what I'm thinking we need to do is set up some power. So we have up here a few solar panels randomly placed. But what I would like to do is move them off the roof and set them up over on, well, let's see, the sun's coming up over there. It's probably going to go across that way. So I want the solar panels to pick up the sun, track it throughout the day, and go over there. I don't want them to be in the shade by the base. So what I'll probably do is set them about here on a raised platform. So to do that, we're going to need to get some iron frames. So let's go back inside really quick and see what we have. Okay, we're good for oxygen. We don't have an oxygen system yet. Temperature in here is 27 degrees, sorry, 22 degrees, 27 kilopascals. So we can breathe in here. Iron frames. Do we have any iron or steel frames? No, we do not. I don't even think we have steel yet. So maybe let's work on doing a little mining and we'll go get some steel. That'll be the first step. Oh, we did have another mining belt. Should take that with us. Our filter is a little low. We're gonna need a new filter soon. I guess we left it out there maybe? Just check. Oh, maybe we'll put out our beacon. We have a battery for that? We do. We'll put a fresh battery in our beacon so when we go mining we don't get lost. Our suit battery, we can top that guy up. Let's top off our oxygen.
Anti-critical.
Okay, and food and water. 85% food. We've got some partial cereal bars here. Let's eat them. Top up our water. Alright, and I think we're good to go mining. Close our helmet. Oh, we do need another filter. I think we have a filter made already on the shelf. We do. So we'll swap that out. This guy will keep... we'll throw him on the shelf for now. Alright, there's our other mining belt. We're not going to need our pill. We will need our tracking cartridge. Where is our tablet? And our tool belt. Let's open our tool belt, drag it over here so it's in a good spot. Okay. Put our tracking cartridge in. Grab our miner. Check our tool, our mining belt. Okay, so we've got ices in the mining belt. So what I'll do is I'll move these ices here and we'll just leave this mining belt here. We'll bring some mining charges with us. We're not going to need the cables. We always want to have our duct tape in case we damage our suit. Alright. It's daytime. Let's go get some stuff for steel. Do we have steel? No, we've got iron. We've got iron. We've got a little bit of coal. So we need some coal and some more iron. Let's see what we can do. There's some coal. It's right near the base though, and I don't want to dig holes all around the base if I can avoid it. So we'll use that as a last resort. Alright, here's some iron. So we need to make steel, which is one of the alloys. And if you see here, if I type steel and I pick the ingot, it tells you what you need to make it. You need a ratio of 25 carbon, which is the charcoal, or you can use coal, and 75% iron. So that's a 3-to-1 ratio. So for 50 coal, you need 150 iron ore. So that's what we're going to try and get. Fortunately, in this version of the game, with the new update, the ore deposits seem to be quite substantial. So it's not too difficult to collect a buttload of iron and coal. And you can always use iron. Is our light on? No. Our suit light is on. There's some more iron there. Good. So we'll get enough to make one set of steel, I guess you could call it. It's 200. It works out to be 200 steel. When you get into the super alloys, the ratio produced versus the ratio of parts put in isn't exactly equal. But if we put in 50 coal, 50 iron, sorry, 150 iron, we'll get 200 steel. All right, let's see if we can find some coal. Here's a little more iron, so let's just top up on that guy. What I might do is I might try the mining charge on the coal. Now, first time I used the mining charge, I dropped the mining charge, armed it, left the armed one in my hand, ran away from the one that I left on the ground, and blew myself to pieces. So we're gonna try to avoid that. Okay, so there we go. We don't need that one piece of iron. So let's see if we can find some coal. Not too near the base. Here's a bit of coal and a bit more iron. Alright, so what I'm going to do is be very careful here. I'm going to put this in my hand, put my drill away, and I want to split one, put these back, and then I'm going to take this one, and I'm just going to press Q to drop it on the ground. And then I can click this button to arm it. You can arm it from your hand, but like I said, I blew myself up doing that, so I'm just super careful. So I'm just going to arm it and then run away. And in about 5 or 10 seconds, we'll have a little explosion. Oh, it was over there. Kablooey. And if we look in our hole, we got some coal. We got a whole bunch of stuff. We got coal. You can see also the gas is coming in here. On other planets, that's very dangerous. On this planet, not so much. So a quick way to pick up these materials, you used to be able to, without having the drill on, you could just click and it would pick them up. But I guess they've changed that. Can I pick them up with the... I can. So I can just use the drill to pick them all up. There's some silver here, which is not bad. We could use some silver. Oh, we're actually getting pretty full, eh? If I move that up to there, give me some space. I'll just switch hands and I'll just manually pick this up. And I can drag and drop it in here. Coal, we didn't get as much as I had hoped. So let's just stick with the drill. Since we have a bit of silver, we might as well grab it because we're going to need it later on for advanced alloys. we've got 50 silver. What we really need is 50 coal. Alright, there's 50 silver. I'm going to swap that out for the coal. And now we got to get out of our hole. I can find the way out. Oh, there it is. And see if we can find some more coal. Of course, it got night really quick, so now I can't see anything. But that's par for the course. Leave that headlight on. It is going to use up our suit battery a lot quicker than just the portable light. Oh, I have room there, so I can move that guy there. That'll free up a space. Where's our base? Oh, I didn't turn on the tracking beacon. Good thing we still have our lander. Okay, so maybe we'll just see if we can find that coal that was near the base since it's nighttime. That is not coal. The lander was to the left of the base, so the coal should be somewhere in this direction. Any coal around here? Nope. That was a quick daytime. Okay, so there's our lander. I'm gonna dump some of this material off since we're here and it's nighttime. We have 30 coal. See, we're just too short. Alright, so let's put some of our iron away. Our silver. Free up some space. We certainly have lots of iron now. Oh, and we got a storm. Oh, there goes our iron. Where'd it go? I think we lost that iron. Alright. Gonna jump in. Oh, this is what happens when you jump in a storm. Bad idea. Alright, let's go inside and wait out the storm. Okay, so we can turn off that light. Let's check our suit light. Oh, we have 80% in there, so we're good. I can take off my suit so we're not using up oxygen and creating waste. Temperature's still only 24 in here, so that's not bad. Not a lot we can do right now with the storm. There's the beacon we forgot to turn on. Alright, so what I'm thinking, since we're in a storm, is I'm going to run the power out that side, and I'm going to set up the solar panels over there. So probably over here, I'm going to set up my air conditioning. Do I have any pipes? Oh, that's, I was watching some other guys play. Cows Are Evil, Panic and Die Gaming. And they were using the flare gun, which I didn't know you could shoot flares up in the air, and then they float down, and you can see quite well. I don't know what I've done with... there's my flare gun. So we'll put that in here instead of the pick. And then we've got some flares. There's no flares in it, so we'll load it up. Now we have to be careful because that's loaded. Grab this. We don't have any pipes in here. We might have pipes outside. I can't tell in the storm. So let's be brave. We'll head outside, see if I got any pipes. So everything out here should be safe because it's all locked down. Nothing's gonna blow away. I do have pipes. Okay, I've only got 4. Now I can't make... I should take this inside actually. I can't make any more pipes because if I turn on my hydraulic pipe bender and they come out here, they're just gonna disappear like that iron did. So we're just kind of stuck. But the idea for the cooling is at nighttime it gets pretty cold outside on Mars. So what you can do is hook up your output to here, which is going to basically, this is your input. You put a passive vent here. It sucks the air in from this room. It's going to pass the heat through the air conditioner and dump the heat out the waste. And then it's going to take the filtered air and put it out here, which would be the cooler air. So what you want to do is you want to run, just as an example, a pipe from the waste. Say, let's pretend we put a vent there. I can run this pipe like so. And what I can do is I can run it up and I can put pipe radiators on it. So at nighttime, the heat inside this pipe will cool off, which means it's not fighting against itself. So it's going to pull in the hot air, dump the hot air into the pipe cools off at night, so it keeps allowing more hot air to get cooled, and then it pumps out the cold air into here to the temperature that you set. We're going to need some passive vents here and here. I don't think we have any passive vents. And after this, we're going to also have to repair our solar panels, because the storm, it'll do damage to our solar panels, and they won't be as effective in generating power. You can repair them with glass, you can repair them with tape, or you can take them apart and put them back together, which is a bit cheaty, but it does work. Oh, I'm just going to put this pill in here in case I need it in an emergency. So what I'll do is, tape is pretty cheap. You can just make it with iron. So I'll just make some tape and then we'll go repair all of the solar panels once the storm is done. But we just have to wait till it's done. So this was our first storm. So this will probably destroy the lander. And it's probably, if it hasn't already... Yeah, see, we don't have our shuttle anymore. So it's just me and the beacon. So if we go out without turning on the beacon, we're in big trouble. Because our lander and our shuttle pod are now destroyed. So it's kind of a waiting game at this point. Let's see, in our suit, we have a little bit of gas, which we can let out into the room. Don't really need to. Oh, we don't need our suit on either in here, because we're inside. Also, on this air conditioner, here you can put in a chip, and you can program it using these pins. And what you would tell it to do is to, if you hooked up a sensor inside here, tell it to read the temperature, pump the temperature into here, compare the temperature in the room to here, and then you can have it on this display. It will tell you if it's idle or if it's working. So you can have it automatically turn on and off based on the temperature. That is using a computer and automation, same that we want to do with this. However, we don't have a computer, we don't have any chips. We don't have the alloys to make the chips or the computer, so that's why we got to do some more mining and get our power set up. Hopefully the storm doesn't last too much longer. While we're here, let's check our water situation. I'm pretty sure we're in good shape for water. 46 liters of water and 36. Oh yeah, we're in good shape. I'm gonna put my tracker cartridge back in here because we're gonna hopefully do some mining soon. Just want to see what my battery's at. 90. Okay, yeah, so we're good there. So, unfortunately, we're just in a holding pattern. What else can we do? Well, let's see. We've got pipe utility kit. We've got some extra water here. We've got some pipes. These are our seeds. We're not going to do anything with any of that. There's an extra cereal bar, which I'll put over here. We don't need that. We don't need any of those things at the moment. We use the advanced airlock. We don't need flares. This is a network analyzer cartridge. You can put this into your tablet. And what you can do with it is you can look at the power systems in your... So you hold this up, it shows nothing. But if I point it at the cable, it tells me that the battery charger is on. It gives me my actual power, my potential power, and my required power. There's the actual here, here's the potential, here's the required. So my actual power is 85 watts, my potential is 2.85 megawatts, and my required is 85 watts. So I don't need a lot of power. But that just tells you the power that's coming out of the battery. And then on the input side, this will tell you, if I close this window, you can see it better, how much power is being generated by what. All right, so that's just a quick tutorial on the network card. So let's put our tracker back in. I can put this away for now. We can put our suit on, and we're gonna have to go make some tape to repair the solar panels. Tracker cartridge is not in there. Okay, so to make tape, I need some iron and I need my autolathe. No, I need a tool printer, which I do not have. Is the tool printer in here? Tool manufacturing, iron and copper. All right, well, I've got 50 copper and 50 iron. Did I not put iron in there? Oh, I put steel in. Oh, we already have steel. Look at that. We're ahead of the game. Okay, so that changes things. We still need tape, though. So let's make some iron, but we don't have any iron. We have 23 iron there. We need 20. So let's make some iron. We'll quickly load up the furnace here. It has some temperature in it. So let's get our ices, which are in this tool belt here. And what I'm going to do is grab some oxide and some volatiles. Now the sun's up, it's 4 degrees. These are going to melt in my hand, so I have to do this quickly. So what I'm going to do is open that up, move this over here, open that up, move this over here. Have nothing in my hands because I have thrown things in the furnace by accident that I didn't want to. And I'm quickly going to split 5 of these off and hopefully get 4 in the furnace. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and then we can activate the furnace. And then I'll put in a few oxide, activate the furnace, get some temperature in there. The valve is closed. Okay, we got good, lots of temperature. So let's make some iron. Throw that in there, and I'm gonna make a tool manufacturing. So we've already got distracted from what we wanted to do, which is usually how it works. Okay, so I don't need my ices anymore, so I can put them back in here, put that away. We have a lot of heat and pressure in there, but I don't really need to make anything at the moment with that heat and pressure. Oh, we've made electrum already. Look at that. And solder. Oh, we're way ahead of the curve. It's been a while since I played. I had a bunch of stuff going on in real life, so I really didn't have time to get to my Stationeers, unfortunately. I apologize for the wait. But real life gets in the way. Alright, so we'll leave that for future steel. How are we doing on here? Okay, I'm going to need some iron sheets. I have steel sheets. I'm going to need some plastic sheets. I'll need some cable coil. Where do we want to put our tool manufacturing? If I put it there, it's going to be too close to the furnace. I could put it here, I suppose, which means I'll have to run cables over to here. Now, if I connect this cable, well, that's making the manufacturer, it'll interrupt it. So what I'll do is I'll just put it near it. And then we'll connect it at the end. And I'll just put the tool manufacturing over here. How we doing? We're almost done. Okay, and then I'm gonna need some iron sheets to make that guy. That should be enough. And I can put that, I'll put it right there. So it's in the middle. I'll need my welder. Okay, I'll need some cable coil. I will need some plastic sheets. And finish it off with a screwdriver. Alright, there you go. And we got an update on our helper hints. So now I can put my screwdriver away, put my sheets away, and I can finish connecting the power. Alright, so now with this, we can make, I'll just have you a quick look. You can make suits, masks, glasses, mining backpacks, which are very helpful, a headlamp, different kinds of suits, uniforms, tool belts. You can make tier 2 tool belts once you upgrade it. You can make all kinds of paint. But why are we here? We want to make duct tape. And to make duct tape, we need iron. Why are we making duct tape again, you ask? Because we got to repair our solar panels. So put that in here. We have duct tape selected. So we'll make a couple of rolls, see if that'll do it. While it's making that, I can put these sheets away. I don't need to carry them around with me. What do we got? 2 rolls? That should be 3 rolls of tape. Okay, so we'll pick that up. Let's go look at our panels. So if we look at our solar panels now, you can see they are damaged. Damage is at 51%. Damage is at 48%. So it shows you the damage on them. There are other solar panels, heavy ones you can make that are resistant to the storm. We don't have the materials to make them. So if you select the tape and left click, it will slowly patch the panel. Get off the tape, you can look at it now, it's at 100%, as opposed to this one, which is damaged. And it tells you you can use duct tape, glass sheets, Mark II duct tape, or stellate glass sheets. Well, we don't have stellate glass sheets or Mark II duct tape, so we'll just use regular duct tape. Okay, and then we have 6% left, so I'll just use it on there, and I'll just grab myself a new roll. You see, it uses quite a bit of duct tape, almost half a roll. Finish that. Mirrors are getting dark like really quickly. Okay, so now that we have that done and we have steel in here, I'm gonna make some steel frames. Now, what I want to do is, I said I want to put the power over here. So I'm gonna need probably 3 initial and then 3 on top. So at least 6. I want at least 6 frames. I'll put this duct tape in here for future use. And the idea is my main power is going into the battery here. So I'm going to want to run my main power back to that same location. So I could run it along here, down the side, not over there because of the corner. But I could figure that out after. And then out to the area. So really, I kind of wasted the duct tape because what's going to happen is I'm going to have to take all those solar panels down and move them over here. And then by doing that, that would have repaired them. So could have taken advantage of that. While I'm here, since I need to get this area, I'm just going to get some of this gold out of the way. Not too much so that the panels are floating, but you get the idea. Alright, let's turn on our light so we can see what we're doing. Alright, so let's say we want to be above this line. So we want to be in line with the edge. So probably something like that. And then I put these here on top. And that gives us a platform that brings our solar panels up above the building. We have 2 rotatable solar panels and 3 fixed. So we only need the 3 at the moment. And I'm going to need some steel sheets for that. I have 2, so let's get some steel sheets going to weld them up. It's going to be 1 per just to put a partial weld on them. So we just need 6. Get our welder out. I think I said we were supposed to get to automation today, but I don't think we're going to get that far. Maybe I was jumping a little ahead. But we'll definitely get closer to automation, and then eventually we can get to tier 2 materials, and then we can get to food and water and get all that stuff sorted out, and then we'll be able to move on to the rover, which I would like to make. I made it in the beta, but I'd really like to make it in this version. Okay, so now what I want to do is, since it's nighttime, it's actually a good time to do it, so I'm going to take these apart. So I'm going to strip out the glass. Put that away. Grab my drill. Put those away. I may make another one of those. And then what I'm going to do is put my solar panels here. No, not there. Try my landing in. Look at that, he sticks the landing. All right, so I'm going to put one here. Now, you can put what are called dual solar panels. They're dual because on one side you have the data and the other you have the power. Using the mouse wheel, I can put the data and power on the same side. I prefer to separate my data and my power. So I'm going to have my power come from here, and I'm going to use the data portion to be able to control the angle when I automate them. So I'm going to put them like that. So I'll put my power on this side, and then I can run it over to that power line. And then I'll run my data in this direction along the frame, and then I can set up my automation down perhaps there. All right, now the other ones, the morning sun comes up there. So what I'll probably do is I can put this guy like so, and then I'll put this guy. Now this goes against the whole power thing. So what I might do is I'll just rotate that to the side, and then I can bring the power down and over to the side. So that'll get me a little evening sun. Now, I have all of these cables not attached to any solar panels. So I need to get these cables back so I can hook up my solar panels. So we'll get out my cutters and recover all this cable. We'll probably end up having to make more. Okay, and there's our emergency power. So now what I have to do is I have to find the input side, which is this side. This is my output side. Really need to put a transformer in here at some point. And I have to run the power over to there. The problem is I have this power cable here, which I could actually move. But then that's not going to get power. So the easiest solution I think would be to run it along here. Yeah, see, I can't run it there because I have that cable there. So what I can do, it's a little ugly for now, but I'll just pop this guy out here and then run it down here and then along the floor. Then later on we'll rejig that so it looks a little more professional. Now, when you run it along the frame, it connects nicely. Once you get into the dirt, it likes to like go in the dirt, and so it's a little tricky. So you just kind of put the pointer on the very end in the gray, and it lines up nicely. It's a little more difficult. Now, we got our power to go up there. So I'm going to curve this guy up. And you can see we ran out of cables. So while I'm here and I am remembering, I'll put the glass in my solar panels. Not that it matters because they're not connected anyway. Just one less thing to remember. Okay, and we're gonna need to get some more cables, which is gold and steel. So we want heavy cables. We only have 3 grams of gold in there. Do we have heat in the furnace? Oh, we do. So I can probably put this gold through. Throw that in there. That'll give us more cables. I don't think we have any more gold. Iron, copper, steel. Nothing in there. That just has iron. We're going to need more gold. Well, fortunately, I happen to know where there's some gold. Alright, so we're getting, a fair amount. More the merrier. We won't drain this well dry just yet. I do want to get this hooked up before daytime. We still got cables coming. We should have enough heat, hopefully, to get this processed. Put my miner away so I don't throw it in the furnace by accident. I have done that before. We don't need that. I got confused there for a second. Pardon me. Alright, that may be enough. We're not on a 0.5, so that's good. So let's see if that's enough. So I can put those there and I can continue connecting these cables. the other guy over here. Here comes the sun. I want to... Hopefully we've oriented these the right way. Otherwise, we'll just have to redo the whole thing. Alright, so the sun's coming up there. So what I'm going to do is, with my wrench, tilt it down. Nope, the other way. And rotate this towards the sun. So this guy will catch the morning sun. And then what I'll do is rotate this guy the other way to catch the evening sun. And part of the sun throughout the day. Went a little far. And a little more up, I think. Okay, so that should get our power. We're still in good shape for power? Yeah, we're still in good shape for power. Okay, so there. So now I've moved this over here. It's not blocked by the building. We'll get some evening and daytime sun. What I can do next is I can take a daylight sensor. I can put it up here with another, maybe I'll make another solar panel. Do I need another, do I have enough stuff for another solar panel? I do. Let's make a solar panel. Do I have glass? Do I have silicon? I don't think I have any silicon. And I think I used all my glass. Okay, so we'll finish that solar panel off. I don't have any silicon anywhere, so we'll go get some. That's just gonna mine the one, yeah, right? Yes. Okay, let's see if there's any silicon out here to be had. Yes? Yes, excellent. So we need this to make plastic sheets and glass. So we'll get a bit of this. We'll have enough to make a piece of glass for our new solar panel. Of course, by the time we get this done, it'll be nighttime, and then the solar panel won't matter. But what we can do is we can put that one straight up and down. And that way we'll get sun the whole day. Now, silicon requires 900 Kelvin heat to turn it into an ingot. Hotter than iron, which is, I believe, 800 Kelvin heat in the furnace. We can certainly get to that temperature, not difficult to do, but just as a point of interest. We also need silicon to make insulated pipes and insulated vents and all that sort of stuff. Try and get maybe 2 full stacks if we can. Are we out? I don't see any more. Don't see any discoloration in the ore that suggests there's more silicon. Oh, I think we tapped it out. Alright, well, we got almost 2 stacks. Okay, let's not waste our jetpack. we have cables? Did we use up all our heavy cables? No, we did not. We have 4. We may need more. Alright, and then we have to smelt the silicon. It is 627 Kelvin, so that's too cold. So again, we need our ices, which are over here. I'm going to put these mining charges away for now, because we're not going to be using them anytime soon. Grab some oxide, grab some volatile, keep those handy. Put these away so I don't throw them in the furnace. Alright. Oh, I don't want to do that. That and that. Okay, so we're going to do 1, 2 oxide. And 1, 2, 3 volatiles. By the time it degasses, that might cool off. Well, we'll see if we can get the first one done. Power is low. Let's grab some power. Open up our suit. Switch over our power. How is our power doing? Power's fine. Okay, great. Don't need this turned on. We still have the right to... We do. So we'll do the rest of the silicon. We're keeping that, or we don't want to do any of that stuff, so that's fine. Alright, how's our pressure? 14, we'll leave it for now. Okay, so I can put that in here, turn this on, make a glass sheet. This I can put over here. I'll make a couple so I have a few spares. Alright, that'll do. And then we should be good to hook up our final just in time for nighttime. So I guess we're not really tracking the sun the right way, are we? I thought it would go there, but it looks like it's going that way to that way. Not detrimental, but maybe not the best way to orient our solar panels. But once we set up automatic tracking, it really shouldn't matter. All right, so power is there. I want to put it in the center. Boom. Now I'm stuck under the solar panel, of course. Can I get out? I can, okay. We'll just leave that guy oriented straight up and down, and we just got to run cable to him. Hopefully we have enough. And as the rule goes, we are 1 short. Anyway, we put the glass in. Oh, look at this. We had glass the whole time. Going too fast. All right. Lesson learned. We need 1 more cable for that. We'll make 2 so we're not on 0.5. And there goes the sun. So on the planets in this game, there is like a summer-winter kind of thing, and the sun does alter its orbit. So perhaps we've drifted into winter somehow, and I wasn't paying attention. So this may not be the ideal orientation, because the sun seems to come up over there and go down over there. Perhaps we should have put our solar panels over maybe here to catch the sun. But once we set up automatic tracking, it shouldn't make that much of a difference. Okay, I can put this away, turn that off. And plus, once you set up a whole bunch of these on Mars, it's not difficult to get power. All right, let's take care of our alarms. So we just have food and thirst, and our battery's at 92%. We can relieve that in here. What is our temperature? 28 degrees, so it's getting a little warmer in here. Let's, we had a partial cereal bar. We can finish that off. I've got to open our helmet to do that. Okay, and then finish this guy off. drink some water. All right. We are fed. We have food. We have water. We oxygen. Okay, we're in pretty good shape. Let's quickly make some regular pipes. We need just straight iron for those. Helmet is up. Put that guy away. Where is our mining belt? There's our mining belt. Put this guy away. Pipe bender. We have nothing in it. We need iron. I have iron here. We need to make a thing called a radiator, which we need to make that. Gold and steel pipe radiator. So let's build some pipes. Our gold and steel is in here. No. Oh, we have steel here. Okay, our pipes are getting away. Make 10, see how that goes. Now, we are going to need an active vent as well, but we can borrow one from somewhere. I need to get my gold out of here, because we don't have a lot of gold, sadly. I have to fix that. So I need to make 2 or 3 pipe radiators. So if I type radiator, pipe radiator, did I not put, oh, I didn't put steel in there, I put it in here. Alright, put it in there. We'll make 3 of those. I can close this guy up. Put that back in there. Put that back in there so we don't lose it in a storm. Turn these off to save power. There's 2 of them. 1 more. That should do it. Okay, so. Oh, we need vents. Vent. We need 2 of those for the air conditioner. We should be able to get power to here, no problem, since we're out here. Let's hook up the power, and we might as well hook the data up while we're here as well. Is that right? Yeah. Okay, so that should be the power hooked up. I'll be able to see better from the inside. Let's go inside and have a look-see. Alright, while we're inside, we're just going to take our suit off because it frees up us from getting dirty, which makes us consume food faster. Alright, so for simplicity's sake, I can put a vent here, and I can put a vent here. This vent will pull in the air and will push out the air after it gets cooled. However, this is going to need to be added to. And what we're going to do here is run this up. Is that outside? That'll be outside enough. Okay, and then we'll put more pipes up top and add the radiators to them. So I can turn this on now. We have power. I have to press start to turn it on. It will not cool very well at this point. See, it shows the input of moles of gas, the operational temperature efficiency, the temper differential efficiency, and the pressure efficiency. So it's 28 degrees in here now. If I turn it on, you can see we have no operational temperature efficiency and no pressure efficiency because there's no gas in here for it to displace its heat. So, and the pressure in this room is also quite low, which causes an issue. We should have 50 kilopascals is what the plant's like, so we're a little short. But I think we have some oxide out there we can dump in here to fill up the pressure in this room. So what we'll do is put our suit back on and go outside and finish hooking this up. We need to actually, before we do that, put something in this pipe. So what I can do is I can borrow. I don't really want to borrow it because it's named and everything. I will need an active vent at another point, so maybe we'll just go make another active vent. So let's go do that. I don't want to screw around with my airlock. Can I make an active vent? I need some copper. I have copper in here, I believe. Actually, I don't need an active vent. I can just use a passive vent and suck the air out of the room into the pipe. Let's print an active vent just in case we need it. I will need an active vent later at some point, so it's not like it's a waste. I'm just concerned that we're not going to have enough pressure in the room to pump into the system. Close the handle before you put the ingot in, then you don't have to pick it up twice. Right, since we're outside, what we're going to do is, now you can see it's minus 46 degrees out here right now. We're going to tap into that to keep our room cool. So I just put some pipes up here. Now these pipes are not insulated, so they will automatically radiate some heat. However, let's see, can we see how much heat they'll radiate? I'm curious. No, because there's no gas in there right now. So what I can do is now put these on here. And there's two types. There's this type, which is for a planet with an atmosphere, which is what we're on. And then there's this type, which is for a planet with a vacuum, which we're not on. So I'll just rotate them around so they face different directions. Then they're in different squares or voxels, and that will hopefully make them more efficient. Now, what I can do is I could just hook up a valve to this pipe and a passive vent. And what that would do is when I open the valve, it will allow the gas in here to exchange with the heat in here and then radiate that heat out into the night. This allows it to just switch on and off and automate it somewhat. So I don't have to worry about freezing my room. Because if I leave the valve open at 47 degrees, I'll come in here, it'll be minus 47 degrees, which is not what we want. But I need to attach I need to get some pressure in here. So what I can do is I can drop this oxide in here. And it's going to roll around and degas and put some pressure in here. I can also open my suit and put this little bit of gas in here. Not that it matters. It's so tiny. All right, so that's done. So now we have 45-ish, once it spreads around to the rest of the room, kilopascals of pressure in here. Let's see, if I just take this pipe and I hook it up like so, and then I take this vent and I hook it up like so, now this pipe is going to fill with gas. See, it's got 45 kilopascals of mixed gas in there. Doesn't matter what gas is in there. You just don't want gas that's going to freeze or liquefy. So in here we do have pollutant, which liquefies quite easily, and carbon dioxide, but not a whole bunch. So we should be okay. Worst comes to worst, we burst the pipe and then we fix it. Okay, now I can put this back here. It's happy again. I can fix this pipe. Okay, so we're 21 degrees in here. If I use the... We didn't need the active end. We are 21.9 degrees in here. So if I turn this on, it's now going to pull in the cold air, or the hot air from the room, which is at 21.7 degrees Celsius. It's going to heat up this air. You can see that's heating up. It's 119 degrees Celsius already. We're getting cooler in here, 21.6. Should go down even further. We check here. And now you can see we have temperature differential efficiency, because the temperature, we're going from 21 to 20 degrees is not great. We only have 31 moles of gas, but we do have a 99% operational temperature efficiency and a pressure efficiency. So it is now cooling this room. And it says it is active, mode active. Right? Oh, I can't point at it with the pointer because I need the pointer to point at the green square. So once it reaches 20 degrees, which is very soon, this should switch to idle. Oh no, it won't switch to idle because we haven't programmed it. Well, let's see. Let's see what happens. We're at 21 degrees. Let's just crank up the temperature. We want a temperature around 27, not 50. So you have to hold down the C button and you can move it one digit at a time. So now it's asking for 27 degrees. It's still active. You can see the efficiency is dropping. So it may actually try to heat up the room to 27 degrees. Yeah. So for fun, let's put it, what's the temperature in here now? 21.7. Let's put it down to, oh, I don't want to do that. .8. So what we need to do now is set up a sensor in here that is connected to this wire. We'll go on, say, this wall here. It doesn't matter. Might want to keep it not too close to the vents. And then what you want to do is tell the sensor to tell you what the temperature is in this room, relay it to the microchip, which would go in here, and then it will tell this device to turn off or go idle when it reaches the appropriate temperature. So we've got basic cooling set up. So we can just come in here whenever we want right now and just turn this guy on and it'll cool it down to a temperature that we want. And it should keep it at 22 degrees. You can see the heat in here is now starting to increase because it's dumping the heat. But the heat is radiating. Well, no, it's convecting. However, this does use quite a bit of power. We're not super concerned about the temperature in here right now because we don't have any plants, so not a big deal. But we've got that set up. And we've got our power going. We've got our new solar panel system. We put a little more pressure in the room, which is nice. Do we have any more ice? Oh, just 4. Okay, I did see some over here. Want to grab a little before we shut her down for the day. I think I'm going to start making these videos a couple hours instead of an hour because you just can't get a lot done in an hour. I was watching Panic and Die Gaming Ryan, and he came to the same conclusion. Just too quick. And there was a bunch more stuff that I wanted to get done, but I don't have the time to do it in an hour. I'm just grabbing some more oxide so that we can have oxygen in our base. So, next time, what I would like to do... We've got our power going. We've got some cooling going in the base because it will eventually heat up. The sun is going to hit all these glass windows, and for each glass window you have, the more heat is generated. So all of these windows will eventually heat up the interior of the base. But we do have our solar panel set up in a much better position. We'll automate that. We're going to have to automate our grow lamp. We're going to have to automate our cooling. Get our plants planted. We have water. We're good there. And then we can do oxygen capture, water capture, all kinds of stuff coming up. Back inside, what do we have in here for pressure now? So we want 50. So let's get 50. I'll just hold this in my hand. We'll let it get up to about, I don't know, depends on where you are standing in the room, right? Spread some around. Say, well, let's just dump the whole thing in here. So now we've got some half decent pressure in here. The plants want, if we check quickly, potato, for example, because that's what we're going to grow. Potato. Minimum ideal grow temperature is 20 degrees Celsius. Max is 50. Minimum ideal grow pressure is 50. So the minimum pressure you want for potatoes is 50 kilopascals. Maximum is 100. So between 50 and 100. So we want to keep it between 50 and 100 kilopascals, and we want to keep it between 20 and 30 degrees Celsius, which is why we set up the cooling, so we can set that to that temperature. We've got our pressure now. We just need to get our gases. So we've got the pressure. We just need to get our temperature to the right setting. Okay, so next time we'll try advance a little more. We will work on our automation, hopefully. We got to build a computer. To build a computer, do we have the stuff? Just a basic computer. We need, iron, gold, copper. We have that. We need to make a housing, IC housing compact. That must be new. Well, let's just do IC housing kit. So we have solder, so we're good there. And the other thing we need to make is a IC10 chip. And to make that, we need gold, steel, electrum. So we have everything we need. So next time, we'll hopefully put some housings down with some chips. We could put a chip in here. Can we make a laptop? I don't know if we can make a laptop. We can. Well, we'll just make a laptop then. That's easier. Oh, we need to make a tier 2 printer. So to make that, we need... let's do mod. Tool printer mod. Let's go this way. Electronic printer mod. We need to make Constantan, which we can do. It's not hard to do. We just have to get above 20 megapascals and above 1 Kelvin of temperature, which is not hard to do. We need some copper, which we have, and some nickel, which we have. If we don't have enough copper, we can always get more, but I know we have the nickel. And then, boom, we'll have Constantan. So we can make the tier 2 printer, we can make the laptop, we can make the IC10 chips, we can make the housing, and then we can automate this, we can automate this, and we can automate those. Then we'll have power, we can start growing food, and we can start keeping the room cool. That's what we'll try to get to next time. So we'll see you next time. As always, please comment, please like, please share with your friends. Again, I'm new at this, so I can take any comments, criticism, anything you think I did wrong or I can improve on. I'm happy to listen. And I try to answer all the comments. All right, so we'll see you next time.